will coordinate between 03 and 0400 hours UTC in the 31-meter band on 9,515 kilohertz to Europe, the United States, Eastern Canada, and Cuba. Between 03 and 0400 hours UTC in the 49-meter band on 6,165 kilohertz to Iraq, Syria, Iran, and the Arabian Peninsula. You can listen to us over the Turkcell satellite and on the internet at www.trt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Please note that transmissions broadcast between 2030 and 2130 UTC, between 22 and 2300 hours UTC, and between 03 and 0400 hours UTC are pre-recorded. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr.
But first, the headlines.
Violent clashes continue in Syria.
Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan is paying official visits to Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia.
Azerbaijan hosts Caspian International Oil and Gas Exhibition.
Taksim Gezi Park incidents are on its 7th day.
And state of emergency has been extended for a 12th time in Tunisia.
And now details of the news.
Violent clashes still continue in Syria. Death toll and two-year long death increases with each passing day. A total of 89 people died in latest attacks by Assad forces in Aleppo and capital Damascus. Fighting continues between Hezbollah militants and opposition forces in Qusayr, which has been under siege for the past 3 weeks. A missile attack that hit Qusayr during the burial of opposition losses revealed the gravity of the situation in the city. A doctor in the city said more than 300 patients who are in critical condition have been trapped in Qusayr. Meanwhile, the latest UN report said both sides in Syria committed war crimes during the clashes. There are logical reasons to believe that chemical substances have been used as weapons, the report said. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry delivered a brief remark and said this came late to efforts to find a political settlement to the war in Syria.
Prime Minister Recep Tayyip Erdogan is paying official visits to Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. Prime Minister Erdogan first went to Morocco. Moroccan Prime Minister Abdullah Ben Kirane welcomed Turkey's Prime Minister at Rabat Airport. Erdogan then visited the resting places of father and grandfather of Moroccan King Mohammed VI. The two Prime Ministers held a private meeting and appeared before cameras and through words. Moroccan newsmen posed questions about Taksim protests. Erdogan said, "I suppose the incidents will calm down in a few days. A terrorized atmosphere is not prevailing in the country. But in a few days, by the time I return, the incidents will be over and problems will have been solved." Erdogan also touched upon the Syrian crisis. A new process called Geneva II has been initiated by Russia and the US, and it's underway. "I hope this process will contribute positively to the developments in Syria," he said. After the press briefing, Erdogan attended the Turkish-Moroccan Business Forum, which brought together investors from both countries. Erdogan called on businessmen at the forum and pledged support in their ventures. "We are responsible for removing obstacles in front of business people. They are the ones who will make progress. Turkish investments in Morocco are worth $245 million. This figure should be increased," he said. Prime Minister Erdogan proceeded to Algeria today after completing his contacts in Morocco.
Azerbaijan hosts Caspian International Oil and Gas Exhibition. Delivering a keynote speech at the opening of the exhibit, which brought together energy giants President Ilham Aliyev said that they have natural gas that's enough to provide 100 years of supply, and that Europe will also use Azerbaijani gas soon. Many countries steering the world's oil and natural gas sector, among them Turkey, Russia, US, Britain, France, and Turkey, Azerbaijan. 386 companies from 28 countries attended the Caspian Oil and Natural Gas Exhibition. A crowded delegation represents Turkey in Bakü Expo Center. The exhibition will run for 4 days.
Taksim Square and Beşiktaş became the center of protests in Istanbul. Police used tear gas and water cannon to disperse crowds. One police officer and 2 civilians were injured in the incident. 76 people were taken into custody. Demonstrations were held in different districts of Ankara to support Taksim protests. 30 people participating in demonstrations were taken into custody. In Hatay province, one protester was killed with a bullet in the head.
State of emergency has been extended for a 12th time in Tunisia. A written statement issued by Tunisian President said as a result of President Monsef Marzouki's consultations with Prime Minister Adel Laide, Parliament Speaker Mustafa bin Jafar and other officials, the state of emergency in Tunisia was extended until July the 4th. Marzouki said in a speech delivered in a military ceremony last month that soldiers must return to their barracks and that the state of emergency has become a burden on the army. Tunisia issued state of emergency in August 2011. Extended for 12 times since it was put in place almost 2 years ago, state of emergency imposed curfew, tight controls over media organs and cinema and theater halls.
President Abdullah Gül received Deputy Prime Minister Bülent Arınç and the duo had consultations about Gezi Park incidents in Istanbul. Arınç told journalists afterwards that it was a positive meeting. In a press conference, Arınç said protests that began with environmental concerns escalated to a different point and called for calm. We are open to democratic reactions. What we don't want is violence, he said. Republican People's Party leader Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu also met President Abdullah Gül to evaluate the protests across Turkey on Monday. Kılıçdaroğlu said they do not approve actions inflicting damage on public properties and called on Prime Minister Erdogan to apologize. After his meeting with the president, Kılıçdaroğlu said, I explained to the president that it is quite normal for people to express their demands. I told the president that the prime minister's attitude is not intended to suit the tension, but quite the opposite. I reminded the president that a great responsibility falls upon the shoulders of the president, and that he should commit to these responsibilities.
Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas named Rami Hamdallah as new Prime Minister on Sunday. Hamas condemned the move by Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas as he appointed Rami Hamdallah, president of Al-Najaf National University, as Prime Minister and said it rarely Hamas-Fatah reconciliation deal reached in Cairo. The group's spokesman Sami Abu Rufi said the new government is an extension of Salam Fayyad's government and does not represent the people of Palestine, rendering Hamdallah's appointment illegal. Abu Zuhri called for the swift implementation of Hamas-Fatah deal and said the new government in Ramallah doesn't have legitimacy. The formation of this government contradicts the Palestinian reconciliation deal.
The United States on Monday ratcheted up its efforts to isolate Iran for its suspected nuclear weapons program, targeting Tehran with currency and auto sector sanctions. President Barack Obama imposed sanctions on foreign financial institutions that conduct or facilitate significant transactions in the Iranian rial, meant to further weaken a currency that has already lost 2/3 of its dollar value since late 2011 as a result of Western sanctions. A senior administration official said the low level of the rial was a key vulnerability for the Iranian government. The objective is to take aim at the rial and to make it as unusable a currency as possible, which is all part and parcel of our efforts to apply significant financial pressure on the government of Iran. The official, who spoke on condition of anonymity, said on a call with reporters. In his ninth executive order against Iran, the president also imposed sanctions against people who do business with Iran's auto sector, which the White House said was a major source of revenue for Tehran. These sanctions go into effect on July the 1st. The United States and Western powers have imposed a series of economic sanctions aimed at pressuring Iran into halting what they say is a drive to build a nuclear weapon. Tehran says its nuclear program is purely for generating power and for medical devices.